Most of us were told the same thing. Work hard for 40 years, save what you can, and maybe you'll get lucky and retire. But here's the truth. Early retirement isn't just for the lucky. It's about the choices that you make today. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 practical steps you can start right now that will move you closer to financial freedom sooner than you think. And at the end, I'm going to ask you, because again, it's all about the accountability, is which one step are you going to do today? Because retirement really is personal. And I want you to leave with something that you can act on, because a dream with no action is just a fantasy. And folks, if you're on this channel watching me, it's not about fantasy time. It's about trying to get to where it is we're trying to get to. So let's get into it. Step 1, you got to track your spending. Before you can save or invest, you've got to know where every single dollar that you have coming in is going. Most people, the reality is, underestimate what they spend. To keep it 100 with you, I do too. I did until I started tracking every dollar that I brought in. And then once I saw the truth, I was in a position to make intentional choices. And the fact is awareness is really the foundation of my early retirement. Once I knew what the actual was, then I started looking at that variance, and I just took concrete steps, one after another, after another, after another. And these are the steps that I've taken. And so the first one was just tracking my spending. Let me know where it is that I'm going so I know what I'm working with. Show me what you're working with. Step 2, you got to destroy that high interest debt. In another video where I talk about compound interest and I show the snowball of compound interest and how compound interest works against you in that same snowball, credit card debt, payday loans, personal loans, these are all retirement killers. I mean, even a balance of about $5,000 at 20% interest can double in just a few years. So if you want to retire sooner, the fastest return you're going to get is paying off that high interest debt. It's like giving yourself an instant raise, because now instead of taking that $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $1,000 over and giving it to American Express, giving it to MasterCard, that's money that's back in your pocket that you could invest at 6%. So think about it in those terms, because it's easy for us to get used to, oh, well, I'm always going to have a car payment. Oh, I'm always going to have a credit card payment. Are you? Will you? Or do you have a choice over that? And if you have a choice, you need to get out of it. Get out of that credit card debt. One of the things that I did is when I saw that at one point I had some credit card debt, is I just prioritized that. And I think when you look at the Dave Ramseys and all the other financial gurus out there, they tell you the same thing. Prioritize those and just start chipping away at those. Most credit cards will take you over 20 years if you just pay off the minimum. So just take it, break it into equal parts that you can afford to pay, but knock that high interest credit card debt off. Because if you have high interest credit card debt, it makes everything more difficult. It's like trying to run a marathon with a brick around your leg. It just makes things harder. Step 3, increase your savings rate. This is the real engine of your early retirement. The more you save, the faster you buy back your freedom. That simple. And even boosting your savings by 5 or 10%, that could shave years off of your timeline. So think of every dollar that you save as you hiring somebody to work for you instead of working for your boss. And one of the things that I did, and I'm going to invite you to take a look at, and I'll leave it in the comments below, is I built a calculator, just a simple calculator that you could put your information into. The link is in the description. You could plug in your current savings, you could plug in your contributions, and you can start to see, and you can plug in what you have right now, and you'll be able to see how much a small change to your savings can have a big impact over 10 years, over 20 years. And you can put in whatever amounts that you want. It'll give you about a 30-year window. It'll show you. So take a look at that. Let me know what you think in the comments as well. But before we go into the next step, I have a quick question for you. Sometimes we get caught into the idea that, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know what that would look like. Or we go into a plan half-hearted without an idea. So I want you to think about something. If you had to increase your savings by just 5%, what's one expense that you'd cut? Let me know that in the comments. What's the one thing that you would cut? Would you cut going to the club? Would you get one less drink when you're out? Would you get one less something? Or would you do what would you do different to cut that out? Because at the end of the day, you have an idea and other people may not have that same idea or may not know what they would cut. So by you leaving it in the comments, it may give somebody else an idea because each of these videos gets thousands and thousands of views. So you may be able to help somebody else by just leaving that in the comments. So I invite you to do that down below. The fourth step, automate everything. Automation is your friend. There's an old saying that says, the less I think about it, the more likely I am to do it. If I think about it, then I find every reason why I can't do something, why I can't do this. I can't get that because I can't go to the bank. I can't blah, 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 bloop, diddy, blue, as an old boss would say. But so I automate everything. I automated my retirement accounts. And so when I started putting money in the retirement accounts, it seemed like, oh my God, I'm putting in this money in my retirement accounts. I'm going to be broke. But then after a few cycles, I wasn't thinking about it. All my transfers to my savings accounts and even my bills. So all I knew was what I needed because I'd done some of those preliminary steps up front and I automated everything because it took the decision making, it took the temptation, it took my second guessing, it took it all out of the process. And even now, I don't look at every bill that I have. I just know what I have budgeted for different things and I'll do a periodic view because if I look every day, then I say, oh no, this is going to happen. But sometimes the plan is for this account to be a little bit shorter because of an expense that came up. So I just automate it. So it takes away the need to have to be disciplined every single day because it's easy for me as an early retiree to say, just be disciplined and go out and do it. But folks, that discipline doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy for me. So that's why I think it's important just to set up a system. If you set up a system, it's like, I can't think of who the rapper was back in the day, so let me know in the comments. But they say, there ain't a problem that I can't fix because I could do it in the mix. Well, it's the same thing. If it's in the mix, then you don't worry about it. You know what kind of cash you got to go to the club and go and kick it with your friends and do the things you want to do. And that's all you really need because your rent's paid, your mortgage is paid, your bills are paid, your money's getting saved, and your car note's getting taken care of because it's all automated. So automate everything. Step 5, you got to maximize your employer benefits. I can't say this enough. You've got to maximize your employer benefits. If you're working, go to your HR portal today and make sure that you're at least putting enough money in your 401k to get the employer match. When I was an HR executive, one of the constant challenges that we had was the underutilization of employees in the 401k. And if you have a health spending account, again, that's something else that can help you down the road with offsetting medical costs and the cost of healthcare and some of that. And if you're fortunate enough to work at a public company, then that stock purchase plan is clutch. And the way most stock purchase plans work is you put money away and on a quarterly basis, the company will buy stock at a 15% discount from what the stock is on the market at that day at the end of the quarter. So that's like a 15% bump to whatever it is that you save. Again, I'm not going to speak for all policies, but I'm just going to tell you, you'd be shocked at how many people leave this money on the table. And, as a former HR guy, I tell you, the benefits are there, but most people just don't use them fully. Most people, I don't know if it's because they don't tell you, but it's there. So use those benefits. Take the employer benefits because that's their way of trying to show you that you're valued to them. So take it. It's free. Number 6, build multiple income streams. Now, this is where you start to shift from working for money to having the money work for you. Whether it's a side hustle, whether you do some consulting, you have a body of knowledge, it's a small rental, a YouTube channel, you start selling some skills online. One of the things we did is we had an account that we weren't going to use after a period of time, and we used that in the last recession to buy a rental property. And we were breaking even on the rental property. And then as time went on, the rents went up, the value of the house went up, and now we're making a few $100s on it, but it counts. But every income stream that you have brings you a little bit closer to financial freedom. So don't underestimate the power of a few extra dollars because when you invest that over time, again, that just starts to make a little bit of money. Even in my retirement now, there's things that I do. We sell stuff on eBay and Just little things that make a couple of dollars. It's not a lot, but it might be golf money. It might be money for the casino. In fact, we've been winning at the casinos lately, so that's a little bit. I'm not gonna say that's a side hustle. So don't go around saying, "Well, Salvador said that was a side hustle," because you get me in trouble. But we make a little bit of money there. But my point is that it all matters. It all counts. Or as my wife would say, if you saw $5 on the street, would you pick it up? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'd pick it up. I'll pick up a nickel. If I see a penny on the street, half a penny, if I could find something that's half a penny that's on the street, I'm picking it up because I'm jumping over pennies for dollars, but I'm going to pick that penny up on my way over it. So again, build multiple income streams. Let me ask you, do you already have a side hustle? Is it something that you've been thinking about? Share it in the comments. Again, I like to know what's going on. So this is my way of hearing from you down in the comments, because your idea, again, as I said earlier, might inspire someone else. And then step 7 is, here's a piece that most people miss, is defining your retirement vision. Retirement isn't only about hitting a number. It's about knowing what you're retiring to. What do you want your life to look like? For me, it wasn't about sitting on a beach. It was about having the freedom, peace, and the ability to choose doing things that actually matter to me. And many of you know I'm a master gardener, so I'm out in the disenfranchised communities helping people learn how to garden. I'm at women's shelters helping people learn how to garden. I have this YouTube channel just trying to lace you guys up with a little bit of game that I learned along the way, in a way that hopefully that resonates with people are going to be able to understand. Because I know that on my path to retirement, I'd look at all these people on YouTube and hear them talk this big game, and I didn't understand half of it, what the hell they were talking about. And so I just try to give it to you straight up, no chaser, in a way that you're going to be able to pick up. But to me, that's one of the reasons that I get up every day to put content together for this YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. But I get up every day and I'm in service to the world, because I was fortunate enough to come out of the hood, do well, get to a place, and I feel like it's my responsibility to help others. And unfortunately, I'm not like the Pied Piper and have a million people around me that are following me all the time. But I do have people on YouTube that are saying, hey, look, I want some good information, and I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'll never try to sell you anything, because that's just not my steez. But I'm going to give you the good GAME, because I think that's just what you need in order to be able to gain some of the confidence and understand that it's not as difficult as we might seem. But figure out what it is that works for you and what you want to do. Start thinking about the sooner rather than later, because then once you have that vision, then, as they say, the wisdom of the universe coalesces around the right idea, and you'll start to manifest that reality that you're looking for in ways that you may not even see coming. So there you have it. 7 practical steps you can start today to retire sooner. Track your spending, destroy high interest debt, increase your savings, automate, use your employer benefits, and build multiple income streams, and define your vision. Now, here's my challenge to you. Which of these 7 steps are you going to start today? Leave your answer in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's hold ourselves accountable. And try this. Increase your annual contribution by about 5% in the calculator, and watch in the calculator I mentioned below, and just see how much faster you get to your retirement target. That's compound interest at work. So on that note, if you found this helpful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with others, so others that may not have access to the same information have the opportunity. We want people just to know that freedom is possible. So I'm going to cut it here. Again, I never expect everybody to retire early, but I do expect you to live your best life. So on that note, have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.